Several 100,000 people died. What made this war such a deadly war?
It's extraordinary how many people died, more than 500,000. And this was without a single automatic rifle, without a single bomb. It was mostly in hand-to-hand combat, which is to say that these 600,000 or so people who died, they died where the person who killed them was standing within a few feet of them. And that's really hard. Most of the killing that happens in wars today is actually from a distance. It's by a drone, it's by a bomb, it's by a rocket, or by an automatic weapon. And just to make this even more focused, to this day, the deadliest day in American history was during the Civil War. September 1862 at Antietam, more than 22,000 Americans killed one another hand to hand. There hasn't been a day that deadly in American history since then. That's amazing considering the technological changes.
What was in the mind of those soldiers on each side? Was there conviction for ideas? Did they hate the other side?
I think actually they were fighting out of fear. What we know from reading their letters, what we know from the accounts, is that yes, they're ideas that are promoted to them to get them to the battlefield. They believe in what they're doing. But here it's the same as World War I, and I think the Civil War and World War I are very similar as wars. You are in these horrible conditions, you're attacked, and you have the chance to either kill the other side and live or die. And you fight to live, and you fight to save the people next to you. What is true about war, what is both good and dangerous about it, is you form an almost unparalleled bond with those on your side. This is the men under arms scenario, right? And that's where the killing goes. And it's a civil war, which means sometimes it's brother against brother, quite literally. And what it teaches us is how human beings can be put into fighting and will commit enormous damage. And that's why this happens. It goes on for 4 years.
In just the extensive research you've done on this war for this book, what are some of the worst and some of the best aspects of human nature that you found? Like you said, brother against brother. That's pretty powerful.
They're both, right? So the level of violence that human beings are capable of, how long they're able to sustain it. The South the Confederacy should not have lasted in this war as long as it did. By the end, I mean, they're starving and they keep fighting. So the resilience in war of societies and the power of hate to move people. What are the bright sides? You see in Lincoln and Grant, who I talk about a lot in the book as well, Ulysses Grant, you see the ability of empathetic figures to still rise above this in spite of all the horror. Lincoln went to visit more soldiers in war than any president ever has, often at personal peril because he was close to the lines. And he connected. It wasn't propaganda. There weren't always reporters following him. He was able to build empathy in this context.